Dredfunn original production. Please sit back and enjoy.
Hey guys, Dredfunn here with another one of my how-tos. We are continuing on with our Pokemon saga. I've got Bulbasaur. Let me just double check and make sure that that's the right guy's name. Yeah, Bulbasaur. Sometimes I get Charmander and Charizard mixed up. Alright, so this is going to be our subject for this one. So I got another little sheet of paper here, and we're going to go ahead and pencil and then ink. So this creature is more, it's a four-legged one. So this is going to be a little bit different than the other ones we've done that have all been in bipedal positions. So, here we go. Going to just sort of shape everything out. Keeping with the theme that I want the head to be a little bit smaller than what you see in most of the Pokemons, just so they all match. Alright, got kind of a dog-like limb here. Got another one here. I already don't like that position. Always have an eraser handy. Sometimes when I do my time lapses, you can't see that I erase quite a bit of my drawings. Already noticed that we got too much butt, so we got to shave that down. Like I said, this is just another way you can approach the drawing technique. So when I do the pencils, I like to measure everything out and really approach it that way. Looks like we've got 3 claws on each limb. He's got a little leg here. Boom, boom, boom. And this one's going to go this way. And it sort of comes up like that. I'm going to erase that piece there. And he's got some ears up here, kind of like rounded, almost cat ears, which is something you don't normally see on lizards. Maybe they're horns, I don't know, they could be horns. My Pokemon experience is limited. Lots of kids at the after-school program love Pokemon. My kids, when they were younger, loved Pokemon. They even dressed up on an occasion or two as their favorite Pokemons. Alright, here we go. Let's get this smile in here. Again, he's kind of got like a bit of a beak to his mouth. And then we'll go ahead and bring that down. And he's got 2 sharp teeth here. And the tongue sort of hangs back. Alright, now we also have a couple of these little I guess you want to call them spots or armor plating. I don't know technically what Bulbasaur would have, which variety. Okay, don't like that ear. There we go. So now I got to add this weird little onion thing on his back that opens up and shoots out like tentacles, plant-like tentacles. So I guess he's like a plant lizard of some kind. There we go, and then it's got another bulb piece that pulls down here, and then right there. Okay, now I'm going to get my, oh geez, forgot his nose and the other ones up here. Let's give him some eyebrows, and a little bit of white there, that area white. He's got 2 slits here for his nose, and he's got a couple more of these things up in there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, like, I mean, these are creatures. I know when illustrated they look like they're one, but they're a species of creatures, so each one might be slightly different. At least that's how I'm going to get away with it. So again, using clean single stroke lines without going back and forth. I focus on making this guy look like Mr. Bulbasaur. So yeah, I hope some of you join me at home trying this out. I don't know if this will work and it'll help anybody. Personally, as a kid, if I had a YouTube video thing where I could go on and see how artists approach their drawings, I probably wouldn't have made quite as many mistakes, or less mistakes as I got older. But if you've been paying attention to my videos, mistakes are the key to progressing as an artist. Or at least that is what I have found, because you will make them. You'll make lots of them. And the key is learning. I mean, a lot of life lessons there too, I guess. You know what? Don't give up. Keep trying. See what you've done that is a mistake and try to learn from it and better yourself. You can do that as a person. You can do that as an artist. So here we go. We're doing this back limb now. And again, he's got 3 claws on each of his limbs. Like that. And his butt comes up over here. And this is a connector there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some of these little, whatchamacallits, these little spots on his body. Or, like I said, they could be armor plating. I mean, these creatures, while they are not something you would find in the real world, they are definitely based on some of the tetrapods you'd find on Earth. So, I mean, outside of the weird magical powers and being thrown into Pokeballs, I imagine there's a lot of similarities between these creatures and the creatures, or at least the real creatures of Earth. So this thing's got 4 little tines on it. Don't know if they're technically called tines, but whatever. I'm going to call them tines. There we go. And finish this up here. And then we're going to go ahead and do the face. So he's got kind of a, you know, almost, I want to say, a mischievous, angry type of look to his face. To his eyes especially. Like, you know what, kind of like a cat almost. Yeah, come on over. Try to pet me. See what happens. Alright. There we go. And also, my grandson is a huge Pokemon fan. He loves Pokemon. We watch quite a few of the episodes, and it brings me back to when my kids were young. Alright. There we go. Ink in this area here. Like I said, the more you do it, the more practice you have, the better you are. So, I mean, if you get at this point and you make a mistake, you got a couple options. Like if you do the mouth too shallow or too big, you can trash the drawing and start again. Nothing wrong with that. Or you can continue through. Either way, each time you add pen to paper or pencil to paper or brush to paper, you're going to get better. You're going to learn more, and you're going to progress as an artist. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to erase this stuff off. Getting rid of all the ink, or sorry, all the pencil lead, the graphite. There we go. And now I'm going to go, another thing, the bonus with these type of erasers is, like I said, they're putty, like almost like Play-Doh. You can bend them and move them. I mean, you can shape them when you're using pencil. Really good. And doesn't leave any eraser bits. So, very good for painting and stuff like that. So I got my tea. Basically, what we're going to do right here is, Mr. Bulbasaur is, we are going to color the whole thing pretty much with the one layer, I'm thinking. Oh no, we got some whites going on. So we're going to have to get kind of tricky maybe. Here we go. So, I'm going to start right up in here, and we're going to do the underbelly using the tea. So, I'm going to leave this area right here uncolored, right down to about there. But I am going to color that part. Oh, I got a little hair in there. If you have cats in your house, and you are an artist, you will deal with cat hair. Unless you have cats that don't want to rub up against you, bug you, and drive you nuts like my cats do. King Arthur and Sir Merlin. Alright, here we go. I'm also going to leave this area here white. There we go. Going to leave this area here white. I'm just going to add the tea in. I'm going to leave the claws white. And basically going to color all the way up here. This whole thing is going to be tea colored. Except for the claws. Yeah, so I'm having a lot of fun doing this, learning as I go along. Like I said, you're never too old to learn new tricks. That is a definite. So basically I'm going to color this whole mouth, except for the teeth. I'm going to try to be careful not to color them in with the tea. There we go, not bad. And then we got another area up here, right under the ear, that I'm going to leave white. Sort of like that. And then we're going to come in and do this whole area here, being careful not to get the eye part. And there we go. that'll get darker as we add more layers of tea. There we go. Not bad, not bad. There we go. And we got another little bit of white up here, so I'm going to just color that there. The good thing is, once you put the tea down and it dries, which we're going to let this dry like we've done with all the other layers, is almost forms a border around the edges. So when you're adding more of the colors, it sort of sits around as long as you've taped it down nice. So with the back part of this, we are not going to add any, or we're not going to leave any parts white. The areas that I see that have been left white, I'm actually, the original color will be this, and then the rest of this thing is going to be much darker. Alright, so we're coming to the end of this. This is our Bulbasaur with tea. So he's a Teosaur? I don't know, it sounds almost like a dinosaur. Anyways, and we're going to let that dry for a bit, and then we're going to come back and add another layer. Alright, so we're going to add another layer of tea to our Mr. Bulbasaur, darkening up hopefully most of the layers. So this is our second coat. We're going to hit a layer here. Like I said, I'll bring the picture over again. Got my Bulbasaur, so what we're going to try to do is here and match that, the eye, and that, and then this part on the onion bulb that is his back. So we'll probably have another 2 layers. As I'm learning, you can only get it so dark. So here we go. This entire under area is going to have some tea to it. There we go. It actually comes straight down like that. There we go. Nice. That will work. Add a bit more in there just so it'll darken up as it dries. I'm also going to hit this area as well, just right here. Bring that down. I'm also going to darken his little, well, I guess it's a spot or a nodule, or don't know if that's like some sort of like, you know, on like a Stegosaurus, it's like some sort of armor plating. I do not know. Anyways, we're going to add a little more tea to this area here, and then going to add a little drop in there to make it nice and dark. Also that. And then it's going to come around here. There we go. And be careful not to get any in on the toes, or I guess they're his toe claws. Add a bit of paint to this. Again, tea, I guess. It's going to be hard to say that. Messed that up quite a few times. You get so used to painting with tea. So yeah, we're just adding a little more tea to these little spots that run along his back and side and hip, I guess would be the right word. And I'm going to actually do the back part here, his little onion bulby. So that goes all the way up, and I'm going to color the whole thing in. There we go. Nice. Like I said, a few other tricks I like to do. I like to make sure I have all the things that I'm going to need handy. That way I don't run into the same kind of thing that you run into with using watercolor paint. It's a mad dash to try to get the paint down before things start to dry, because that can really change the outcome of what the final result will look like. With tea, it seems you have quite a bit of time. It's all in how you let it dry and how many layers you can put on. So yeah, we're going to do that little part there, and then when I add another layer, I'm not going to color this, I will color that area. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch to my smaller brush, the fine liner, just so I can get in there and get the eye without messing it up too much. You want to lay down a layer of the tea so it covers all the areas, and then you can go in and darken it up some more by adding a bit of tea. We said it tends to hold its surface tension quite well, especially if you have these areas also inked, like right around the eye that I'm adding. All that inking there really helps with keeping it in there. Alright, now going to do this thing as well. And then that's pretty much it for this layer. I'll make sure I get a fair bit in there so it darkens up nicely. You only have a few tries at it, so I tend to want to make sure I get it done well, or at least dark enough that it, when it dries, it'll show up and I can maybe then go in and add another layer. Now I'm already noticing that this back area here isn't darkening up much. It's pooling down and around there. That's fine though. You know what? It is what it is. We go with the flow. So I'm going to let that dry and then come back and hit it with a final layer, and then my Bulbasaur will be done. It'll be awesome. So yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Time to finish up Bulbasaur. Let it dry again. So we're going to go in and add some more tea, the final layer. Going to hit the little spots, his eyes, as well as this part of his cheek, and also the back part of the little onion doodad that hangs off his backside. And notice I missed the spot there. Well, yeah, we'll load it up. There we go. Nice. Alright. Okay, here we go. Start adding that tea right to this spot here. And there we go. I'll make this one a little darker. Alright. Go ahead and add to that one. I said I won't make it super dark, but it does add up after a while. Like I said, by this will be the third layer, it can really make a difference. So I'm just going to use my fine liner to fill it in, bring it right to the edges. There we go. So this Pokemon tea adventure has been quite fun. I don't know if I'll do any more in the future. Well, it depends. I mean, if these are popular enough, I would be doing lots of them in the future, and would love to. There we go. Now I'm also going to hit this side of the cheek here, or the inside of the cheek. Like I said, we're just trying to lightly darken it up. I mean, the tea, I suppose, if you want it, you could, if you have a good place to store your tea, you could, instead, take the tea itself like this and leave it off to the side and let some of the water evaporate out of it. I imagine that could do it. We tried a little bit of that at the after-school program and ended up just getting mold in my tea. So we had to chuck it out. But I've also tried mixing up green tea, and I'm thinking about trying, the wife has some black tea, see if we can do some interesting stuff with that. You know, I drink a lot of tea. I like me tea. I like a spot of tea. Alright, gonna get that last layer in on the eyeball. So with watercolor paint, you know, I don't use it in a traditional sense. I use it in a rather weird way. Like I said, it's not the most effective way to color comic book or cartoony type images, but it's what I prefer. Ever since I started using waterproof ink, it really does make a difference. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit to this carapace here, or whatever this thing is on the back, this giant onion off his butt that shoots out wicked tendrils. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more tea to some of these little dots here, just to, like I said, darken it out a bit. There we go. Nice. Darken that some. Oh, there we go. Now, final thing, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shade to the bottom bit. Again, this is a quadrupedal or quadrupedal type creature. It walks on all fours. unlike the other ones. Like, I mean, Pikachu, I guess he does go on all fours, but he also walks upright. Charmander, I don't think so. I think he's pretty much an upright bipedal type creature. And then Squirtle, I don't know. Actually, no, I think he's bipedal too. I think he just sort of hangs out on his feet too, or his back limbs, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, just going to add a bit more tea to this as it dries on this watercolor paper, or watercolor paper. It'll, like I said, pucker and do all kinds of neat things and add a little bit to the effect. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. We got our Bulbasaur, or Bulbasaur, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Bulbasaur. That sounds good. Done and done. Like always, you want to sign your drawing. I've signed them all on the bottom or off to the side. I'm actually going to sign this one right over here. Boom. Put my first and last name, Fred Dunn, and my YouTube handle, my Facebook handle, Dredfunn, which is pretty much Fred and Dunn with the F and the D switched around. Just because there's a lot of Fred Dunns already on YouTube, or at least more than just me. Anyways, I hope you guys like doing this. Again, if you joined along at home, please upload the video or upload the images to my Facebook page, or, you know, find me on my website. Either one would be great. I'd love to see anybody that tries these out, see the end result or the process. Hope you guys like it. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other stuff. Dredfunn out!
This has been a Dredfunn.com production. Thanks for watching.